Yo, welcome back to the channel. We got another video. I ain't even do an intro on the video, so I gotta do it like a voiceover. But look, we here back to install we installing a 4-channel amp in the Subaru. You can see I copped the Kappa 4, by Infinity. Open up the box real quick. You see what it came with. It came with like some heat shrink and a little ground strap for the ground wire. I mean, real cool of them. It's real secure, but I ain't need to do it. The amp kit I had, it was already terminated. And then it has these other connectors if you wanted to do high level in, and then some extra fuses. Basically, you put wire into the little ends of that and then put that into the RCA in, onto the amp, and then you just switch over, the little toggle switch that you see eventually to like high level in. But here's the amp itself. Take that mug out. That mug heavy. I ain't gonna cap. That mug was heavy. I ain't the strongest thing in the world, but it felt like a ton of bricks. But it is what it is. So pull that mug up out the plastic. I'm having trouble. Yo, hold up. I had to take that mug out real quick. Real sleek. It's the same line as my components that are in the front. The Infinity Kappa Perfect. So as you see, you got your front, left, front, right, rear, left, rear, right. That's the output that would be going to the speakers. You got your fuse panel, and you got your ground and 12 volts in. And on this side, you have your input, which would be the RCAs. And then so you got front, rear, and then you got pre-out. If you wanted to, shoot the signal to another amp, you'd come out the pre-out. But that's your input level, your high level. Low level, that's the little toggle switch I was talking about. Auto, on, off, and then you got your filter, your crossovers, and your gains. But then, real quick, I wanted to go over, how you, the whole game plan for installing the 4-channel amp. Because if you look at a diagram, it's real simple to understand. This is, from Dual. I don't recommend Dual products. I think they, the basura, but it is what it is. Some of y'all rocking it. You rock with who you want to. But look, check it. See you got on the right side of the amp, going to each speaker. That would be the output from the amp. So you got your positives, your negatives, all going to the speakers. Again, that's the output. So then below that you have the red wire, which is the power, which goes to the battery. Below that you got amp turn on, the REM, which stands for remote turn on lead. So when the radio kick on, it kicks power to your amp. Boom, boom, boom. You turn the radio off, amp turn off. Simple as that. And that black wire below it, that's just the ground. Needs to go to bare metal anywhere on the chassis. Then you go on the left side of the amp. You see the 2 RCA cables. That would be your input. That's the simplest way to remember it. You have sound from the radio going into one side of the amp amplifying, coming out the other side. You get, the boom, boom, booms. You get all the sound. But that's how that worked. I had to do this voiceover real quick, so we're going to get back to your regular audio. All right, bet. So we back. So look, we verified that everything worked, everything copacetic, all the speakers should work, so everything's cool. Now in my instance, I have 3 amps installed now. One's for the subwoofer, one for the fronts, one for the rear. I'm getting rid of the front and rears. The audio control only does 75 watts RMS to the fronts. The Kappas are rated for 100. And the rears is run off a power pack. Another 4-channel amp. I don't really care to have like two separate amps anymore. So get rid of them, just run the 4x100, be done with it. So in my instance, I might have to take out the 2 amps, but in your instance, you ain't gotta do all that jazz. So I'm gonna go ahead, get to where I get the amps and everything, and I'll show you how y'all supposed to do it. Bet. All right, so real quick, so look, this is on the driver's side. Ooh. Driver's side underneath the seat. this is one of the amps that I'm taking out the auto control 2.300. It's only a 2-channel amp. I'm putting this in this place to do all 4 channels. So basically, you know the difference between the two. This one will do 4 channels. This will only do 2, meaning this only does 2 speakers. This does 4 speakers. That's kind of why I'm getting rid of it. But if you notice, I already have power, remote, ground, but it's only an 8 gauge. I probably could have got away with 8 gauge on this because the run for the 8 gauge is actually just from here to the other side of the center console. I got a distro block, but I'm gonna go ahead and just replace it with 4 gauge. 4 gauge run from the battery. But as you can see, I already have my fronts right here. Have my rears here, and I have my power wire already ran here, and I'll show you where I got that in the engine bay and everything. Let me go ahead and take this out, and then we'll get to hooking this up. Alright, change of plans. G7 Next died. So we're just gonna go from, for this I ain't gonna keep popping in and out. So I don't know what we saw last, but RCA's are in the amp. Do something like this. I can't really set this phone up. Basically, I'm gonna make all these connections. So look, this brown wire right here, it's your ground. Your ground should be somewhere with bare metal. In my case, down here, I took the paint, scratched it off with the wire wheel, self-tapper in it, ground. Get that out the way. Power wire, 2 options to run your power wire in the 15 Subaru WRX. And once we go under the hood, I'll show you the 2 options that I've seen available. But the one option ends up coming out up here. Oh wait, you can see it right there. Way up there. There's that option, or the other option pops out on the passenger side. Either option is valuable. Alright, but look. So then your remote wire needs to come off of the back of the radio from remote turn on or an ignition or accessory wire. So basically when you turn the car on, amp turns on. When you turn the car off, amp turns off. So since I can't set y'all up, I'm gonna go ahead and make all these connections off camera, and then we'll come back and see what everything look like. Quick reminder, I just did the front, so maybe think of it. If you run a wire, like if it's a big amp like this, like 100 by 4, you could label your speaker pairs with painter's tape. It's like PR, passenger rear, DR, driver rear, right? So that way you don't run a bunch of bundles and be trying to figure out which is which. Because I mean, technically you could just take the speakers, send a signal to them, and you can figure out which is which, but it's easy in the prep work. It's extra 10 seconds, save you 10 minutes worth of work. All right, I got the first pair. Go ahead, do these, boom, boom, boom. And you know, we'll be good to go to see if it works out. All right, we back. All right, so look, so all of my speakers are connected. I have power, I have ground, power, ground. I have my speaker inputs, remote wire. This remote wire is actually a little bit too short. There's no slack on it, so I just had to put a butt connector on it, connect it up. So now all I have left is to connect the battery. It's important you connect the battery last, because when you're doing the run with the wire, you don't want this wire to be hot. If it's hot and it touches bare metal, any type of metal really, and it shorts out, you know, you're gonna pop your fuse. You're gonna have to get a new fuse. And if you don't have a fuse on the wire will short. It's gonna get mad hot, probably burn the whole car down. You probably gonna have no car after that, you feel me? So, but yeah, so everything under here is done. Gotta go under the hood and I'll show y'all how to hook that up real quick. All right, so look. All right, so now we under the hood. See, this is one power wire. This is for the sub amp. This one right here. And as I was saying, you could go behind, go on the other side. So got that loom going back behind the engine. And you can see where it is. Pop it out into that grommet. That comes out to the passenger side. That's option one. Option two, see this wire right here, the one that doesn't have the fuse on it. It runs underneath this, down into the fender well, and then behind this plastic, where the hood cable goes through, there's a grommet to go into the vehicle, and that's what I was showing y'all earlier if y'all wanted it to come out on the passenger side. So that's your two options. So basically when fusing the vehicle or fusing the car, you don't want the fuse nowhere to be no more than 18 inches away. If you get the kicker kit, I'll link it down in the description. I'll link everything I use in the description. It tells you. Bro, focus. Whatever, it just says fuse holder. So you just chop this in half, strip it back, tighten that fuse on it. Leave it copacetic. Just chop it in half, pow, strip. Throw that mug in there, tighten these down, put the cover back on. Put that mug back on here. It's gonna take me about, I don't know, a couple minutes, but you know, you get tube time. So like that, we got the power on. Got a zip tied up out the way. Here's a fuse holder. This is not gonna be permanent. I think tomorrow when I get to the shop, I'm gonna get these in a better position. Well, this one's fine. This one needs to move. But I just don't feel like trying to finagle with it. So now that everything's hooked up, so I want you to see if it turns on when we turn on, turns off when we turn off. Don't mind the mess. Don't mind all this stuff. Like this, all this will get cleaned up. Not in this video. And don't about my little trash pile. I'll get that. But basically, now we need to see the amp turns on with the key and turns off with the key. Basically, y'all can't see nothing but no light on. If it y'all can't see it, but power light's on. See if we get audio.
CreditYes.com. The free iHeart app is ready for back.
Okay. Got the sound. Cool. Yo, so then that's really it to the whole thing. The whole install on the 4-channel amp. Power, ground, remote, all your speakers. Fuse the power wire, route everything to where you want it. It is what it is, that's all it is. Y'all ain't gotta pay to have it done, you can do it yourself. Everything I use in the video, or I would use, I'll drop down in the description below. But yeah, go ahead and drop me, you know, if it helped you, you know, drop a follow, subscribe for more content, more reactions, car stuff, game stuff. You know what it is on this side. Follow the Instagram, follow the Twitch. Thank you for watching. And I'll see y'all in the next video, next stream. See you somewhere, you feel me? But then I'll see y'all in the next time. Thanks for everything, peace out.